Alright, so, Stranger Things Volume 2, Season 5, Volume 2, released on Wednesday, and I finished it last week. So, quickly before I start, if you haven't watched the show, well, I mean, if you haven't watched part 2 yet, I would highly recommend waiting until after you watch part 2, just for the lack of spoilers. Because I personally don't like spoilers. So if you say, you know what, I don't want spoilers, just wait till after you watch it. Still watch it after. Anyways, they had multiple chances at killing some characters off. Which is why I'm kind of mad about the first thing that's bugging me the most. No one's dying. Not a single important character. Even in the main, like, yeah, we've seen deaths, that's for sure. But we haven't seen actual characters we know. Some examples I'm talking about. Jonathan and Nancy could have died in the paste bubble thing. I feel like I said in the last video, I didn't mention it already, in episode 4, I feel like it should have been a mini hive mind rather than Collie. But I'm starting to understand why she's there. But I feel like that would have been cool for Hopper to get killed. I like the character, but like his whole premise has been, I'm gonna blow myself up. So I don't even know how much he wants to be there. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to be there either. If I knew that all of that would be going on. But, let me tell you something. Karen Wheeler has some of the thickest plot armors I've ever seen. Thicker than like the T60 power armor. Because she was able to survive not once, but twice, and granted she didn't actually fight them, but was able to kill almost 4 whole Demogorgon Demodogs. Those. And Ted's still just chilling in the hospital. I don't know how they did him so dirty. But I don't know why they're doing her so good. I feel like she should have died in episode 4. To make it seem like, oh crap, we could actually see some deaths here. Because Karen isn't important, but she's like a C tier character. She's still actually a part of the show. Obviously, they're not going to kill off a character like Holly. I feel like she's a part of the too young category. Like they're not going to kill Erica off, or they're not going to kill off Derek. I don't think. But they could. It's not an impossibility. It's just not likely because people get a little more sensitive when it's young kids rather than when it's just like teenagers, because that happens in every horror. Well, it's Stranger Things. I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. It's more of a sci-fi series, but not fantasy. That's too goofy, but stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like we should have seen a lot of the Wheelers dying. I feel like Nancy and Jonathan, that the scene that was a breakup, I felt was should have been the scene where they died. I was not to be that kind of person, but I was kind of hoping that they would. So then, you know, there's of course Will, who has powers. You saw the last video. We'll get to another scene of Will's later on, but that would have fueled him because he already has powers. I'm actually going up. Oh, what's this? I'm actually going up against someone that's like powerful and sad. And then Nancy, obviously we know how Steve feels about her, so that would have been him going like quote unquote beast mode because he's mad, but they decided to keep them alive, just separated. Apparently, according to what I saw in a short about Jonathan saying that it's their last scene they shot together, so they won't be together much anymore after that. But I didn't think, because obviously, like, they're not gonna have them like argue. I don't think, because they're actually like, I think they're married already in real life. They're going to. But the end of episode 7 also showed one of the most obvious things that they hadn't actually announced anymore. What the? Yeah. We already knew that Noah Schnapp was gay, so it was only a matter of Will like have a hard crush on not Will, Mike. So in them pairing Robin, who already is gay. Jeez, I'm not gonna use the charge up very much, but anyways, Robin was talking to Will about just telling them the truth. Hence why she was smiling, because they already talked about it in just hints. Because he wasn't making it obvious, but I mean he was making it obvious, but not trying. But yeah, pairing him with Robin was a smart call, and was ultimately led to the most obvious thing Noah Schnapp's character could have done, that being come out. Obviously, if they're fine with it, it's not like it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you can have it. No, they're not doing that. Of course, fine with it. And yeah. Anyways, that was one of the bigger moments. The Duffer Brothers said that there was gonna be a big, like, a whole like cliffhanger. There was no cliffhangers. The only thing I could see being a cliffhanger is another scene. Ollie and Elle. Being that she wants 11 to stay with her after they try and kill Vecna, to ensure no clones stay behind, by which I mean they sacrifice both of them. However, I feel like there's no point in that, because they already have Kali's blood, unless they didn't already break it, so. Yeah. And then there's the whole Dustin and Steve dynamic, which confused me throughout the first half, but like they were making it obvious of why he is this way. It would have made sense if they didn't do a time jump, because that would have shown that it's like Dustin's still mourning Eddie. It wasn't far away. It's been 18 months. He's still acting all depressed. And yeah, I understand. If one of your best friends died in your arms, it would be hard to, take. But it's been a year and a half. And your other friend is being pushed off, and again, so is Steve to Dustin. But I thought they were gonna say that he was jealous. Not playing that card. But then they had the whole fight because Steve took it too far, which I was kind of befuddled. He is okay. As much as it sucks that he said that, it was true. It was either that he was trying to be a hero because he was trying to redeem himself from all the things. He was trying to like get, you know what I mean. I might got time for that. Let's burn. Okay. I was a little surprised that I was expecting to see like Steve listening in on them breaking up. He'd be like, "That was my time to rest." No. If you can even call that a breakup scene. I honestly thought that she was gonna be like, "Yes, I do," and they drowned. But no, they decided, you know what? How about stay alive? Okay, that's fine, whatever. But I just don't really see why. Overall, these last couple episodes with the plot, if that makes sense, like they made it clear on what they're going to do. They're going to somehow try and get like not a helicopter. They're gonna wait till like it gets close to them on the antenna, and then they would go into the abyss, get her, go out into the other, like, back to their world. And, you know, he's dead. But I feel like one of the main characters has to die, or else no one's gonna care anymore. That's not me being a crap, I'm just saying that it's getting to a point where if you keep everyone alive, it's not just Karen. Of all people that have thickest plot armor. Everyone in the show got a set of P60 power armor suits and just kept them on without thicker plot armors if they were to stay alive. I don't think they're gonna do that, but like, because every season there's been at least one side character that dies at the end. Example, Alexi, Barb, which doesn't really count because she died in almost the beginning of the show. So we'll just say Bob, Alexi, the biggest one being Eddie, because they featured almost entire season about him. But this also was the only one that they kept talking about after. That was going to be Bob. Joyce was talking about him. There's not really a side character that has been there to die. And again, I don't think they're gonna kill off, what's his name? Derek. There's a chance to kill off someone like a Vicky. They could kill off Kali. They may kill off Mike and not Mike, Will and Elle. Just kill off all the powerful characters. Or, she could follow up with the whole stay behind and die. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do with that whole plot of Holly trying to get Eleven to betray them, but not really betray them, but just stay behind. I don't see why they would do that, considering they already had drained like Holly. What's the point if they already had her blood? They might as well just kill them and move on. But I understand how figure it. But yeah, that's it. I'll make another one after the third part releases. Goodbye.